Okay, I hope you can see the blackboard. Okay, so we have found out the combined thickness of individual layers. So after that, you have to find out the thickness of various component layers. So how we have find out the combined thickness. So for this purpose, we have used the graph. So the graph which is available from IRC 37. So in that graph, it is the thickness along the y-axis and cumulative standard axle CSA in the x-axis. So CSA is in million standard axle. So you have find out the CSA by using the equation 365 NFD into okay 1 plus R the whole raised to n minus 1 divided by R. So it is a cumulative standard axle. We have already explained the meaning. So it represents the vehicle character or the vehicle load character. Here it consists of both the axle load of individual vehicles plus the number of vehicles. So it is a measure of axle load of individual vehicles and the number of vehicles throughout the design period of the payment. So once you are having the payment completed, then it will be useful for a period of some 15 years or something. So this 15 period is the design life or design period of the payment. So within this 15 years, there will be a number of vehicles going along this highway. So you should consider the effect due to all these vehicles. So starting from the date of opening of the highway to the end of the design period up to 15 years. So you should consider the millions of vehicles that is passing through the highway. So altogether it will come around some 10 to 150 million. Okay, there will be some 10 to 150 million effective wheel loads will be there. Effective wheel load means you have to translate transform all the uh, configurations into a single configuration, and in effect you have to find out a unit load. So that already we have discussed equivalent wheel load factor. So after that you have to multiply it with the number of standard axles. So in that way you will get a cumulative standard axle. So you need not go and conduct the survey. After that you need not list out all the types of vehicles, everything. So it's all done within the IRC, and they have recommended the values for the corresponding traffic volume. So if the traffic volume is in between 0 to 150, then you will have a VFD. So VFD means sorry, VDF. So VDF means vehicle damage factor. Okay, so you will have different vehicle damage factors for different traffic volumes. So in that way you can find out the VDF required, and here you will get a VDF, then line distribution factor, and the design period of the payment, and the expected rate of growth of traffic. So from this you have already found out CSA value, and you will have two graphs. So in one graph you will have a value ranging from 0 to 10, and in the other graph you will have value ranging from 10 to 150, and from the graph you can find out the corresponding thickness or the total thickness, and you have found out the total thickness as how much? 660. Okay, not 660, 710. Okay, how much you got the value? Just share anyone. The combined thickness. Anyone who got the combined thickness can share it. Okay, we have found it has okay 7.1 was the CSA value. So corresponding to this 7.1, you have to use which graph? The first graph. Okay. So here you are having values ranging from 0 to 10. So here you have to take the value corresponding to 7.1 so that you will get the thickness as 660. Okay, so it will be 660 mm, so that you are having the combined thickness. After that, what you will do? After that, you have to go to the tables. So here in this table, so the table will be given in university exam. So here, so from this table, you are having a CBR value. In question, the CBR value is given as 4%. So you have to refer to the 4% CBR. Okay, here you can see the CBR 4%, and you have to refer to the MSA value. So the MSA value is obtained as 7.1. Okay, so here it will be in between these two. So here you have to use a percentage in between these two graphs. So it is directly obtained from the table. From the table you can see it's CBR 4%. So it is 1 to 10 MSA. So for 1 to 10 MSA and 4% CBR, you can use this table. Okay, so from this table you can see the 660 is in between these two. So how to find out the corresponding thickness for 660? I know that for 620 they have given the thickness value, and for 700 also they have given. For 700 also they have given. So now I can simply tabulate the values just like this. Okay, here you can see I am having the wearing course, binder course, then base course and sub base. Okay, so you're having 4 component layers, and you have to find out the thickness of individual component layers, so that you have to put it like this. Okay, so in between these two values you have to find 660. Okay, so how much it will be, you have to find out by interpolation. Okay, so here for 620, here you can refer to as surface course, base course, sub base, and subgrade. So in this way you can find the individual thickness. So here you can see it is 25 to 40, 25 to 40 mm. So it is the surface course, and here you can see the here it is the binder course and the base course. Okay, base and sub base. Binder course, base course, and sub base. So here it is in between some 25 and 40. So for that purpose you have to draw the graph. individual. Okay, for 620 you will have a value, and for 700 you will have another value. Okay, for 620 you are having the value of 25, and for 700 you are having the value of 40. So there will be 2 points in the graph, so that you can join the 2 points, and in between these two you can locate 600. Okay, here it will be the value 600. So just find out the value corresponding to this 600. Okay, here it will be the thickness corresponding to 600. So how you will find it? You can simply use the concept of similar triangles. So here if you do like this, then you can see the length of this triangle will be 40 minus 25. That means 15. Okay, here the dimension will be altogether, it will be, okay, this means distance, it will be 700 minus 620, it will be 80. Okay, so this much it will be 80. And what about this dimension? Okay, this dimension it will be, or you can see this dimension. Okay, this dimension means this distance. Okay, so this distance will be, I'm marking this distance here. Okay, it will be 600 minus 620. Sorry, it is 660. Okay, okay, here it is 660. So 60 minus 620, it will be 40. Okay, here you can see it's 40. So I can simply interpolate just like if I'm having 80 in the x-axis, then it will be 15 in the y-axis. And if I'm having 40 in the x-axis, then it will be 7.5. Okay, so here it will be 7.5. This much distance will be 7.5. So once I'm getting this 7.5, then I can add this 7.5 to this 25. Okay, here it is 25. So here it is 40. And I can add 25 plus 7.5. That means 25 plus 7.5 is equal to 32.5. Okay, this 32.5 will be the value obtained here. Okay, so for corresponding to the 660, I'm having a value of 32.5. So that is how I can interpolate the value of 660, 32.5. So in this way, I can find out all the remaining thickness. Okay, just draw a straight line graph by connecting the values obtained from the table. Okay, so here I can fill the values obtained from the table, just like okay, these values I'm having 25 to 40, and here it is 60 to 80. Okay, 60 to 80 I can write. $60 to $80, and after that $250, $250, $285, $330, $250, $250, $285, $330, 330. Okay, in this way you can find out 285 330, 250 250 285 330. So in this way you can locate the values and you can interpolate these values. If it's 250 and 250, then here also you will have 250, and here if it is in between 285 and 330, it will be a value in between these two. Okay, you can find out by interpolation. And here also, if 60 and 18, then here it will be in between 60 and 80 some value. So in this way you will get some values for the corresponding individual layers. So this is how you have to find out the individual layer thickness. So here the thickness of the surface course you have obtaining as 32.5 millimeter. So its unit is millimeter. Okay, so in this way you can find out individual layer thickness, and altogether if you add all this, then you can find out the combined thickness of 660. So this is how you have to find out the thickness. I hope it's clear for you. So just a response. Anyone? Muhammad? Adira? Goban? Adira, understood? Understood? Or okay. So it's a simple process. So first you have to find out the CSA value. After that you have to locate the particular graph. So you are having two graphs, and from that graph you have to locate the curve. So the curve can be located based on the CBR value. So once you locate the curve, you can find out the corresponding thickness for the CSA value obtained. So the CSA value obtained should be converted into MSA. So that means million standard axles. So once you complete the problem, you will get a big value. So that value will be in standard axles. You have to convert it into million standard axles. That means you have to divide it by 10 raised to 6, so that you will get in CSA, get the CSA in MSA. So once you get this value, then you can uh, find out in which graph you can locate the corresponding CSA. So once you select the graph and select the curve, so you can find out the combined thickness. And once you are ready with the combined thickness, you can find out individual thicknesses from the tables provided. So from the tables, the individual thickness will not be given directly. You have to interpolate those thickness. How to interpolate? Just select the two values that is coming in the upper region and lower region, so that you can write down all the values corresponding to the upper boundary and lower boundary, and you can draw the straight line graph connecting these 2 points. And from that straight line graph, you can locate your thickness, and you will get a value corresponding to your thickness. And it will be the thickness of the individual component layer. So in that way you can do it. So this process is recommended by Indian Road Congress. So this process recommended by Indian Road Congress is obtained by conducting the CBR test. Okay, so the CBR test you may be knowing. Here you want to take the sample from the soil subgrade, and it indicates the shear strength or the punching shear strength of the subgrade soil. So here in the soil sample, you have to penetrate a plunger, a standard plunger you will have, and that plunger you have to make penetrate into this soil subgrade sample. And for 2.5 mm penetration and for 5 mm penetration, you have to you have to find out the load. That means load corresponding to 2.5 mm penetration and 5 mm penetration, so that you will get a CBR value for 2.5 mm penetration and another CBR value for 5 mm penetration. So here you have to uh, you have to draw a load diffraction graph. Okay, the test procedure I will explain in detail later. Anyway, for a CBR testing, you will have a graph. Here it will be the load versus penetration. Okay, penetration will be in mm and load will be in kilogram. So here you can have the graph like this. So it will be starting from any value. So with the help of dial gauge you can you can measure the penetration. And here for the 2.5 mm value you have to locate the load, and for 5 mm value also you have to locate the load like this. And you will have an equation. That means the load corresponding to 2.5 mm by using the soil sample obtained from the subgrade divided by the same load obtained for a penetration of 2.5 mm if you are using a standard subgrade soil. That means if there will be a standard subgrade, so that standard subgrade value is a constant, and you have to multiply the penetration value corresponding to 2.5 mm if you are using that standard specimen or standard uh, sample, then that value can be in the denominator. So once you find the ratio, then you can multiply it with 100 so that you will get the CBR value in percentage corresponding to 2.5 mm penetration. In the same way, corresponding to 5 mm penetration also, there will be some standard value once you conduct the same CBR procedure by using a standard specimen. So you can compare the load obtained for your subgrade specimen to the load obtained for the standard specimen corresponding to 2.5 mm penetration, so that you will get the CBR value corresponding to 2.5 mm penetration of your subgrade soil. So in that way you have to conduct the CBR test. So for this purpose you have to you should have an equipment which can be capable of providing load, and the penetration can be measured from a dial gauge, and you will have a specimen and a cylindrical specimen, and you are also having a plunger to penetrate the specimen. So the test apparatus, everything I will give you in the class note so that you can read it and refer. So in this way you can conduct a CBR test. So we are talking about the method recommended by IRC. So this method will be asked in the exam also. So we are having different another methods also for finding out the thickness. So in your syllabus it's just mentioned, but the another methods were not asked. Anyway, you will study those methods briefly, just like the CBR method. Okay, I hope the IRC method is clear for all of you, isn't it? Vismaya, I hope IRC method is clear. And we will solve the university questions based on this IRC method in the coming sessions. Okay, so now today I will just make you understand the CBR method also. Okay, it's okay. So it's a simple procedure. Just you will have an equation, and you have to substitute the values and find the CSA value. After that, by using the graph, you can simply find out the individual thicknesses. And now we are talking about the CBR method, but CBR method is not used in the IRC recommended payments because the CBR method is developed by the California Bearing Ratio, sorry, the California road agency. So that road agency is not in India. So in India, the conditions cannot be applied, and also the California bearing ratio is not that much accurate because here we are directly using the CBR ratio. That means here we are giving more importance to the CBR ratio. But you may be knowing the CBR ratio is a measure of the punching shear strength of the subgrade soil, and there will not be any punching stress in the highways. That means if you are going to punch or if you are going to simply make a plunger penetrate within the pavement, so it is not in practice. So in practice it is the rolling wheels that is moving on the surface of the road, and no one is going to take a plunger and penetrate that plunger within the pavement. So in practice you are not getting any penetrating load on the pavement, so you need not consider the CBR value actually. But anyway we are just doing it as a process. So the CBR value is giving importance to the CBR ratio. So it cannot be considered as a standard procedure. still in your syllabus it's just mentioned. So and in university also they have not asked that much questions, no questions asked. Still no, we will find out the method how to do, and the method is really simple. Just you are having a graph, and from that graph you can simply take the thickness, that's all. So here we will see the graph first. So here, okay, you are having this graph. I hope you can see the graph. So in the graph you can see the CBR percentage here. So you are having a CBR percentage 4 in our question. Okay, in our question, the same question, if you are doing it with the CBR method, then you can locate the 4 percentage, and you can locate the curve. And here the curve stands for a different traffic volumes. Here just like a number of vehicles per day exceeding 30 kilonewton laden vehicles. Here you can see the number of vehicles can be somewhere here. So in this, you are not considering any traffic growth rate, any lane distribution factor, then vehicle damage factor. Nothing is considering. Just simply we are considering the number of vehicles. So the number of vehicles can be some 600, for example, per day. Here we are calculating the per day vehicles number. Okay, here we are not at all giving importance to the vehicle factor. That means the load due to vehicle factor. Here we are giving importance to the CBR value of the subgrade soil, and that is why it is not that much recommended. So here you can see, for example, if you are having 600 number of vehicles per day, so here it will be in E curve. Okay, so you can take the curve E, and from the curve E you can directly locate the 4% CBR value, and for 4% curve E you will get a value some in between 400 and 500, so that it will be in between some 480 or something. So in the graph you can simply locate. Okay, somewhat 480 or something. You can use your ruler in order to locate the exact point. Okay, so for 480 or something millimeter you are getting the thickness. So in this here you are having only this graph, and if you want to find out the component layers, then what you will do, you have to find the CBR ratio for all the individual components. That means I will show you in the board. Here you can see various component layers, just like the wearing course or the surface course. After that the binder course. After that the base. After that sub base. After that the subgrade. Okay, here it is the subgrade. Okay, sub base, granular sub base. Okay, granular sub base, then base. Okay, then binder course. Here it is base course, and it is the wearing course or surface course. So in this way you are having individual component layers. So if you want to find out this thickness, okay, this combined thickness, say T1, let it be T1. Okay, T1 is obtained from the graph by considering the CBR of the subgrade. Okay, so we have obtained the CBR of the subgrade as 4%. So if you find the corresponding value for 4, then you will get the thickness T1. And if you want to find out this thickness, then what you will do? If you want to consider find out this thickness, then you have to consider the CBR of this layer. Okay, if you then you can simply avoid this layer. Okay, this portion can be simply avoided, and you can treat this layer as your subgrade. Okay, actually this is the granular subbase, but still you have to consider it as your subgrade, and you have to find out the CBR value for this portion, and you can locate from the graph the thickness here. And if you treat this thickness as T2, then how you will find the thickness of the granular subbase? Okay, So thickness of granular subbase can be obtained by subtracting this T2 from T1. Okay, in this way you can find out the individual thickness of the subbase. So if you want to find out the thickness of the base course, then what you will do? You can simply avoid this much portion. Okay, and you have to find out the CBR value of the base course. Okay, if you find out the CBR value of the base course, then you can locate that corresponding CBR value. You will get the thickness this much. Okay, T3. Here you will get T3, and if you get a T3, then simply you can find it T2 minus T3, which will give you the thickness of base course. Okay, in this way you can find out the thickness of base course here. So in the same way you can continue it for the binder course also. So and at the end for the surface course you can simply subtract all the combined thickness. Okay, so from T1 you can subtract all the other thicknesses so that you will get the last layer, the surface layer. Okay, so in this way you can find out the so here the difficulty is that you have to find out the CBR value for all the mixes. So if I have found out a mix design, then I have to prepare a mix of this region, and from that mix I have to create a standard specimen, and using the specimen I have to conduct the CBR test. So here we have to do altogether 1 plus 2 3 4, so total you have to perform 4 CBR tests. Okay, CBR test of the subgrade, CBR test of the granular subbase, CBR test of the base course, and binary course. You have to find out individually. So the CBR testing is a lab procedure, so that it can be done within the lab. Okay, so it is somewhat related to the lab properties only. That means it is not that much dependent on the vehicle properties, vehicle load. So it is not that much recommended. Anyway, it is the procedure through which you have to find out the individual layers. So a drawback of the procedure is that you cannot find out the individual layer thicknesses, and you cannot find out the individual layer thickness. If you want to find out the individual layer thickness, then you have to perform the CBR test again and again. That is a drawback, and it is not giving importance to the vehicle characteristics. That is also a drawback. So you are conducting the actual IRC procedure for finding out the combined thickness in India. So in IRC procedure also you are using the CBR value only. So at that time also you have to perform the CBR test for the soil subgrade. So that is how you have to do the CBR test. I hope you have understood that CBR procedure also. Rishil, Shamjas, if it's a theory question in the exam, I hope you can answer it, isn't it, Rishil? Okay, so the procedure is simple. Shamjas also. Yes. Okay, so the procedure is simple. Simply you want to perform the CBR test for all the individual mix designs, and you can simply refer the graph. And if you are not using the graph, then you can use an equation also. Okay, I will write down the equation also. Here it will be T is equal to thickness T is equal to 1.75 capital P divided by CBR in percentage minus capital P divided by small p into pi. Okay, this is the equation. You have to find the square root. So in this way, you can have an equation, and here capital P represents the wheel load, and small p represents the wheel pressure. Wheel load will be in kilogram, Yield pressure will be in kilogram per centimeter square. So in this way, it is the capital P and small p. You cannot get confused. It is capital P and it is small p. Here it is also capital P. So you can use this equation. If you are not using the graph, then also you are getting the same answer. So by using this graph only, sorry, by using this equation only, they have created the graph. So either you can use this equation or you can use the graph. So this is the procedure by which, so in the graph you have to be careful that you have to use the CBR in percentage. If they have given CBR as 4%, then you have to put the value 4. You need not put 0.04. Okay, so it is not in fractions, it is in percentage. Okay, so this is how you have to find out the CBR method. So anyway, it will not be asked in the exams. Now we can see the individual layers. Here you can see, okay, I have already drawn the layers. Okay, it is the surface course or wearing course. After that, the binder course, then base course and sub base. After that, it is the soil subgrade. And here you can see it is the curb. After that, here you can locate the shoulder. Okay, in this way you are having different components. Here you can see it is the surface course. It is the surface course, and here you can see the binder course and the base course. Here you can see the base course and sub base course. Here you can locate the sub base like this. So you need not provide the individual layer like this. Okay, you can have the base course here. Okay, like this you can provide. So in this way you can have different layers. So subgrade means it is the soil, and here you can see various layers. Here in the surface course you can provide the bituminous concrete. So I will explain the mixed design for this bituminous concrete in the next class. So here you have to use both aggregates and this bitumen, and the procedure we will explain. After that, it is the base course. So in base course, you have to use wet mix macadam. So wet mix macadam is here you have to wet the aggregates. The aggregates should be wetted, and after that you have to mix it with the bitumen. And once you mix the bitumen and these wetted aggregates in the wet mixing plant, so you can go to the wet mixing plant, and you can see the procedure by which the specimen is prepared. So here, once you mix it thoroughly, then you can apply it in different layers. So in this way, you have to do the base course by using wet mix macadam. So here you can see in the base course also, in the it is a binder course. Okay, in the binder course you have to do the, okay, so here in the binder course, it's the base course. It is in the base course you have to do the wet mix macadam. Okay, in the binder course you have to provide dense bituminous macadam. Here, you can provide the bituminous quantity, and here you can provide the dense bituminous macadam. And this is having a particular procedure for the mix design that we will discuss. And here it is the wet mix macadam. Here you are not using the moisture. Here you are using water content. That is the difference. So it is done by heating the aggregate and mixing it with the bitumen. Here you have to add water and mix thoroughly. So that's the difference. And mm, once you are going to the subbase, the subbase should be consisting of uh, large sized aggregates, because here you see that it is the shoulder region. So it is shoulder, and it is the carriageway. So you're having both the shoulder and carriageway. So here, if rainwater gets penetrated within the different layers, here there is a chance of penetration of the rainwater into different layers. So it will create the loss of adhesive property of the bitumen. That means the bitumen will lose its adhesive property once it's coming directly in contact with the rainwater. So there is a chance of rainwater penetration if the rainwater gets accumulated within this region. Okay, so here this region consists of soil only. So definitely there is a chance of getting a water bounded situation. Okay, so in this situation, definitely it will penetrate like this. So in order to avoid this, here you have to use a large sized aggregate. Then only the aggregate will produce more voids. And if you are having more voids, and if these voids are interconnected, then definitely the water will get penetrated directly. And here, without having any penetration in the lateral directions, you can simply avoid the water blocked situation just through the granulated subbase. So that is why you are using the subbase course as granulated. Granulated means we can use large size aggregates. So it will help in both the ways. If you are having big sized aggregates, then there will be large sized voids, and you can simply make the water escape. And also you can have the large sized aggregates, and the aggregates can withstand large amount of force. And here you can have all the force handled by the aggregates. So that will also help in the strength criteria also. So both in strength criteria and the water penetration criteria, it is better to use large sized aggregates in the subbase course. So the granulated subbase consists of large sized aggregates, and the mixed design, corresponding mixed design also you have to study during the next class. So here you can see the soil subgrade, and the subgrade consists of the soil which is obtained from standard borrow pits. Borrow pits means the regions at which the soil can be collected. Then you can make some excavations in the earth in order to get a good quality subgrade soil. So once you get the subgrade soil, you have to compact the soil up to the desired moisture content and up to the desired density. So in that way, you can simply make the subgrade soil. So first of all, you have to make the foundation. So you have to dig the soil. That means you have to cut away the soil uh, for the corresponding thickness. So once you get the foundation ready, then you can apply the subgrade soil and you can compact the subgrade soil with the corresponding moisture content. And once you compact it, you can apply the sub-base course. The sub-base course should be well capable of penetrating water, and you can provide the sub-base course throughout the shoulder and carriageway. So once you are ready with the sub-base course, you can directly go for wet mix macadam. So wet mix macadam need not be provided in the shoulder region. Okay, in the dense bituminous macadam also need not be provided in the shoulder region. So after all, you can simply provide a surface course so that it will resist the wear and tear of the surface. So the surface course should be very rich in bitumen, and then only it can resist the wear and tear or the scratches produced, and it should be highly water resistive. That means it should not make the water penetration. If it allows water penetration, then definitely water will enter. So here you can use bituminous carpets also. So bituminous carpets means the readily available carpets, and you have to heat the carpet and put it on the road, and you have to apply pressure so that it will not make any water penetration. It will make a seal in between the atmosphere and the inner layers. So it will not allow any water penetration. That is the surface course. So in this way, you have to prepare various layers based on the corresponding thickness. So next class we will discuss the mixed design procedure of individual layers. Okay, hope you understood all this. Govan. Yes. So just give your attendance. Okay, I will call you. Just wait. Okay, Abhirami, Adarsh, Agas, Akshay, Akshaya. Wait. Okay. Then Akshaya, Anjusha, Arya, Asano, Adira. Okay. Then Danish, Danya, Danish. Okay. Danya, Fatima Sala. Then Fatima Sarna, Fatima Tasmir, Tansila. Okay. Then Govan, Jairam, Joshua, Ashraf. Okay. Ashraf.
Present. Present.
Okay. Then Sijin, Rachel, Sandra, Shafna. Yes. Now, Shamjas, Srilakshmi, Shreya, Tadagat, Usman. Usman absent. Okay, Bibilesh present, Bibin Raj present, then Vismaya, Anaka, okay, Anubama. Yes, okay, Usman absent, uh, remaining all are present. Okay, thank you. Okay, today we will have the lab session during at 2 p.m. Okay, lab session everyone should attend. Hello. Okay.